Shalom, Apostle, coming back at you with the truth, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Makakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Truth Hidden in Plain Sight. And the subtopic is the Edomites. Anyway, the truth is right there in front of you if you look for it. That's why I said in the previous video, Esau knows who we are, who he is, who we are, who the nations are. You know, when you go back to the Middle East and you do research on these these nations in the Middle East, a lot of those people keep their biblical names, and you know they're like the Assyrians. That's a biblical name. The Ishmaelites, you know, that goes back to Genesis. The Syrians, like I said, goes back to Genesis. Those different landmarks, and you know, they changed the name a little here and there, like the land of Petra, which if you do research on Petra, you'll find out that the original name was the land of Edom. But what I did was I put in some words, play with some words, and what I found was, let me go to this. Okay, this is Antipater the Edomite. At first I believe I put in the bust of Antipater, and if you look at that, that's clearly a so-called white person. The straight hair, the small skinny cracker lips, you know, the facial structure, you can clearly see that that's a so-called white person. This is how we know that who the Edomites are, what the Edomites look like. Anyway, it says Antipater the Edomite. It says Antipater the first, the Idumean, was the founder of the Herodian dynasty and father of Herod the Great. According to Josephus, he was the son of Antipas, and which Antipas was obviously an Edomite, and had formerly held the name. Okay, I want to get some more information. And that's an actual bust of Antipater, which is the father of Herod the Great, which Herod the Great and the Herodian dynasty were all Edomites, because they had that one father, Antipater. So we're in Wikipedia, Antipater the Idumean, right? It goes on to say a native of Idumea. So now Idumea, let me come back. A native of Idumea. And when you put the cursor on the word Idumea, it says Edom was an ancient kingdom in Transjordan, located between Moab to the northeast, the Arabah to the west, and the Arabian desert to the south and east. Most of its former territory is now divided between Israel and Jordan. Edom, meaning the land of Edom, appears in written sources relating to the, and then it goes on. If I click on it, I'll get more information. And they even give you a map of where the land of Edom is located, which is south of Judea, Jerusalem, or the current land of Israel. It's also south of the kingdom of Moab, or the land of Moab. And you have this, well, if you go to Petra, if you type in Petra, and we spoke on this many times, it'll show you the structure, the rock formation, how they cut out, carved out, however you call it, and made a sort of a castle inside the mountains. And they say that that was built by the Nabateans, which is supposed to be Arabs, but I believe that that was built before the Nabateans. The Nabateans had dwelt there after Esau was no longer in the land of Edom. But that land, that place called Petra is Edom, the Edomites. And if you look at the structure, it's a Romanized looking structure. Even the so-called Jews say that the Romans are actually Edomites, which they are Edomites. They just don't know that they're Edomites. Anyway, it says a native of Idumea, a southeast of Judea between the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Akbar, which during the time of the Hebrew Bible had been known as the land of Edom. This is why this man, the so-called white man, they don't know that they're Edomites, because they've been away from the land of Edom or Petra for thousands upon thousands of years. To be more exact, we can say we can go back like 3,000 years, 3,000 plus years ago. So that's why when you tell them they're Edomite, they look at you like you got three heads, because they don't know that they're Edomites. See, we're not just waking up the Israelites, we're also waking up the Edomites. And some of these Edomites, they're making videos and they're admitting that they are the Edomites. They descended from Esau. It goes on to say, Antipater became a powerful official under the latter Hasmonean. Now, when you look up the word Hasmonean, that goes back to the you think of Judas Maccabees and his father and his brethren, and how they fought against the wicked Antiochus Epiphanes. You see, this is all part of history, as I keep stressing. And even yesterday at the live stream, I had thrown out certain land masses and near and about the areas of the Middle East, actually Israel, and we went into the rivers, the four rivers that was headed by the main river, which is the Jordan. We spoke about the Red Sea and the Hiddekel, which was the Tigris, and the Pison, the Gihon, and Euphrates. And some of the young brothers didn't quite know it, but those brothers are very studious brothers, so I know they're on the case right now, going into those ancient maps. You got to know those maps, man. When you're teaching the scriptures, and you go into prophecy and you're dealing with geographic locations, you got to have it in your mind's eye what it looks like. And if you're teaching it, you might have to bring up a map. A lot of guys, like what I found out through the years, is what they do is they'll listen to somebody that taught them, and they'll pretty much regurgitate what they learned from their teacher. You got to go more. King David said, I became wiser than all my teachers. And we have become wiser than all our teachers, including High Priest Ariel. We're over Ariel as far as this knowledge is concerned. I'm not going to say position, because Ariel taught us a whole lot, but we have new things that we found. I said in the previous video that I made today concerning the Israelites that became the emperors of Rome. And it wasn't during the time period of Septimius Severius 193 A.D. It was way before that. That movie, and I speak about this from time to time, that movie Gladiator, which during the time period, that was approximately 180, 181, 182 A.D. during the reign of Commodus and was his father. Marcus Aurelius, excuse me. The guy that was played by this guy, the actor. I forget his name. The actor that played the lead role. That character that he played that never existed. They call him the Spaniard. They just put that in the history that he never existed. All right, Commodus existed, and his father. I just said his name. Marcus Aurelius. Those were two actual characters, and that's why they had the time period correct. But you got to know this, man. You got to, hey, if a period piece movie come out about the ancient world, you know, it would behoove you to watch the movie and see how accurate they are and whether they're going off and making that movie, particularly a period piece. You know, that's why, like I made the previous video dealing with the icons, there should be more videos on icons and Russian icons and mosaics and frescoes, and more videos on maps, you know, because brothers are just spew out, you know, Gog and Magog, and they're thinking that Gog and Magog is actually in Russia. Russia at that time, or Russia now, back at that time, was a no man's land. That's why the scriptures in Isaiah the 13th chapter call the Russians the Medes, because the closest land, which was south of Russia, that's what it was talking about. But we know that that's actually talking about north of the land of the Medes. But another name that the scriptures gave these Russians were Medes and Gog and Magog. So you got to understand how the maps were different back then compared to right now, to a current map. You know, it's hey, you got to study, man. You got to have a scholarly mind. You have to know some Hebrew. You have to know some Greek. You know, you have to know some Latin. You have to know maps. You know, you have to know history, and you got to be able to link the the scriptures with the secular historical events. And a lot of you guys don't do that. I'm going to say this again. A lot of you guys hear somebody teach you something and you memorize it and you regurgitate it. So if he went off, you went off. So if we tell you that you went off on that one, you're going to get mad because you're thinking that your teacher really knew the truth. He didn't know the truth, man. Anyway, let's read on. It says Antipater became a powerful official under the latter Hasmonean. Like I told brother, ask a brother, what does a Hasmonean mean? They don't know. A lot of these guys don't know. Kings and subsequently became a client of the Roman general Pompey. What time period did Pompey live in? Who were some of Pompey's contemporaries? What does the term triumvirate mean? It says Pompey the Great, when Pompey conquered Judea, that was the time period when they took down our foreparents in the name of Roman Republic. When Julius Caesar defeated Pompey, Antipater the Edomite, which, by the way, Julius Caesar is an Edomite that didn't know he was an Edomite. Pompey, another Edomite that didn't know he was an Edomite. But they looked at this guy, Antipater, as an Edomite because he came out of Edom. Rescued Caesar in Alexandria. And what famous landmark is in Alexandria, Egypt, and was made chief minister of Judea. And this is when they put this guy, this Edomite, over our, our foreparents. Hence his son and his son's son sat on the throne like they the kings of the Jews, with the right to collect taxes. So who they were collecting taxes from? They were taxing us. Antipater eventually made this his son, Phasaelus, and Herod, the governor of Jerusalem. So they put them Romans put these Edomites, these devils, up over us. Just like today, you have Edomites in the governmental seats over there in the land of Israel. And Judea and Galilee you had Israelites living there respectfully. They set these devils up to tax your ass. After the assassination of Caesar, Antipater was forced to side with Gaius Cassius Longinus. Now, who's that? And Mark Antony. What time period did Mark Antony rule or live? The pro-Roman politics of Antipater led to his increasing unpopularity among the devout, non-Hellenized Jews. So those Jews of Judea and Galilee hated this. They knew he was the devil. And he eventually died by poison. The diplomacy and artful politics of Antipater, as well as his insinuation into the Hasmonean court. Hasmonean goes back to the rulership of the Maccabees, or Judas Maccabees, his brothers and his father, because they led a campaign to get rid of these devils, which were the wicked. It said paved the way for the rise of his son Herod the Great, who used his disposition to marry the Hasmonean, she was an Israelite, Princess Mary forgive me, I'm trying to read it. Mary endear himself to Rome and become king of Judea under Roman influence. Now, all the children of Antipater even look like Jakes. That's why the Lord went into the wheat and the tares growing together, because you had Edomites that actually look like Jakes. In the line of the Herodians, the Herodian dynasty, they were all calling themselves practicing Israelites, and that's why John cursed out one of the sons of Herod the Great, because he took Philip, his brother's wife, and that led to John getting his head chopped off. So, I mean, there's a lot of history there. And the main thing, when you read this, you look at the bust of Antipater, and you can clearly see this guy, what Edomites look like. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next one.